Lewis?
Yeah, well, this is a risk-reward scenario. And obviously, Mike has said, hey, look, the risk far outweighs the reward. I mean, what's he going to play in a preseason game? Maybe a series, maybe two. I mean, at the very most, you probably put him in there one. So what's the average series probably going to last? Somewhere between 4 to maybe 8 plays if you're lucky. What's the benefit of that? Are we going to really see something that we haven't seen so far during minicamp, during the training camp? We probably repped every possible scenario that he's going to face week 1 that we possibly can in a controlled environment. I'm going to bank on the fact that this guy is a multiple-time MVP who has really immersed himself into this system, into this new system that Arthur's trying to run. He's been working with DK starting in the offseason. And we're going to hope that, you know what, we're going to rely on that intel that we've gathered in those controlled situations and not put him at risk for 9 plays simply because he would put on the game uniform, run out there in a game situation, and maybe potentially put him at harm's way, with somebody who's trying to make a football team and take, we are set back to where we were in the beginning of this offseason when we didn't have him. I'm not going to risk it. I think that's maybe where Mike's mind's at. We all like to see him play, of course. I'd like to see everybody play in the preseason because I'd love to see the dudes play. Patrick plays, right? Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is the standard. He plays all the time. Andy Reid throws him right out there. But in this situation, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I can't kill him either. I'm with Lewis on that. 2 years ago, he played a series against the Giants. He scored a touchdown, and then the 4th play of the year, he had the Achilles gone for the year. Last year, he didn't play at all in preseason, and the Jets won 2 of their first 3. They lost to San Francisco, beat Tennessee and New England. Played pretty well. Plus, Pittsburgh plays the Jets. First game of the year. Maybe they feel there's a little element of surprise with Rodgers, how he's going to play. Jets have things to think about. If they see some stuff on tape, maybe that changes it. So overall, listen, he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. This is probably a Hall of Fame coach. It's Carolina. Can I go crazy? I got to leave it alone. I got to trust the organization.
The sentiment you made, though, is interesting about not having film on him, having him play in the preseason. But, RC, I want to come to you. With Rodgers not expected to play in the preseason, do you have any concern for your Steelers getting off to a slow start?
Yeah, my level of concern is 10 out of 10.
Really?
And it's not necessarily that I'm expecting them to get off to a slow start. It's the fact that this team can't get off to a slow start. If you've watched Mike Tomlin teams throughout the last few years, they normally start fast. It's that they tail off toward the end of the season. You have some very winnable games early on in this season, and there's going to be a different level of attention paid to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, we know through their championships, right, through the history and the heritage and the pedigree of the organization, we pay close attention to who they are. That's only been ramped up by the fact that they've acquired Aaron Rodgers, by the fact that you go out and you get DK Metcalf, you pay a guy like TJ Watt, you bring in Jalen Ramsey on the defensive side of the ball. This team has aging players who are some of the all-time greats of their generations at the positions. They're going to expect that to pay dividends early in this season. And if this team doesn't get off to a hot start, Omar Khan, the general manager, Mike Tomlin, the head coach, and Aaron Rodgers, the starting quarterback, would be under an intense microscope.
Stephen A?
A couple of things to piggyback off of what RC is saying. Number one, DK Metcalf, Cam Hayward, and TJ Watt also are not going to play, so let's make sure we point that out. Number two, you got Mike Tomlin saying he's comfortable with what he's been seeing from Aaron Rodgers in practice. If he hadn't been comfortable with it, obviously he would have made a different decision. Number three, the one thing that I would throw out there is that you have to look at from the standpoint that Aaron Rodgers really hasn't, with the exception of a couple of snaps in 2023, he hasn't participated in preseason since 2018. We got to ask ourselves whether that's boded well for him or not. One could argue it hasn't. Number four, you also got to look at it from the standpoint that, okay, usually with Mike Tomlin, any healthy starting quarterback has always participated in 3 preseason. So this is him sort of changing things, obviously, because it's Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, by all accounts, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been a model citizen. He's even been mentoring young quarterback Will Howard. So you got to give credit where credit is due in that regard. Apparently, according to Rooney, he's been everything that you could ask for and so much more in terms of his leadership, his mentorship, all the kind of things that people have been reticent about with him. Apparently, that has not been the case in Pittsburgh, so maybe this is a new leaf and that's being turned over, and it's going to work to the advantage of the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't know yet, but that's basically their mentality, so we'll see.
The one thing that's interesting, and this is for the New York audience, I was going to use this as a mad about next week, but I'll save it for right now, for 2 weeks. You know that Pittsburgh and the Jets play at 1 o'clock in week 1 and the Giants play at Washington at the same time? Why would you put the Giants and Jets in week 1 of the NFL season in New York at the same time?
Doggy, what does that have to do with anything we're talking about right now?
Because he's thinking about the games and the Steelers.
I want to watch
he's mad.
I want to watch the Steelers and the Jets because I want to see Rodgers
But
get the Jets.
YouTube
here's a shame
TV.
for Doggy.
They use the multi-view.
Yeah, but
get
they're
17 TVs like Stephen
They
A.
won't do the multi-view with the 2 New York teams. You can't put the 2 New York teams because they're on local TV, so you can't put the multi-view on there. So you got to go one or the other. Are you following this?
Yeah, oh, I do. I'm just sitting there going, you know what? I
Here's what
just
everybody's
want to be
missing.
mad, man. You
All right,
just
real
do.
quick, Stephen, I got to get in a break.
Here's what everybody's missing about Doggy. He doesn't know New York as much as he claims, even though he's been working in New York for decades. Because if you're in New York, you either watch the Jets or the Giants. They don't watch both.
Boom.
Not if you
Coming
bet
up
it, you
on
don't.
First Take, not all of us are
There it is
degenerate
again.
gamblers. Joe Burrow showed signs he could have an